The topic is Casttor smart folders. This is a foundational concept that is very important to learn. So let's start. There are three main smart folders, and on the launch window you will see three entries here, and what you're telling it is essentially what drive these three smart folders are on. So right now they're on the C drive. So let's look. Station name, what does that correspond to? If you come down here, you will see broadcast automation, and you'll see my retro TV station and your first TV station. And if you look at it, you'll see that the entries are exactly the same. For example, under station ID, you have a logo, and under station ID in this guy, you have a logo too. You have an end graphic, you have some bumper, and you'll find it exactly the same on here, except that the logo will be different. The end graphic will be different. Maybe some of the bumper stickers will be different. You have, let's see, you have different art, you have lower thirds, you have different things here, and that lets you customize a station. So here we have, if I come over here and click on either configurations, select station, or just click on here, you'll get another window and you can select your station that you want. On my G drive I have lots because I experiment a lot. So let me do my retro station, and it's done, and you see it changes right here. Now, what happens? We'll start with the station name, and I'll bring over a template, and we will come down here to TV streaming shows, which is the other smart template or smart folder. So let's bring in, and I always go to OK to stream, and let's get a template first. Let's get a template first. Okay, so open from common. We will get HD standard screen, or we could get one of the actual other ones. And it's already set up for Captain Midnight. Now, if we go over here to the overlay, you will see, let me sort of give you a little FYI. The timeline editor refers to scenes and which scenes to play in what order, and the overlay editor refers to sources and what to play when. So in the overlay editor, for example, we have C broadcast automation, my retro TV station, station IDs, logo. Okay, so that matches up with this guy right here. So let's go back, and we'll change this to your first station, and this pesky cursor is hard to find sometimes. And we'll go back and reload this again. And now you will see that this guy changed to your first station, and it's referring to the logo that's in that folder. So what did it do? Okay, so this is what it did for the channel. For example, the channel name is DCCATV. The drive's on C. That would correspond to C here and DCCATV. Smart folder is broadcast automation, which we already know. This guy right here. The base path is C broadcast automation DCCATV, or whatever this is. So the first thing it does with any entry in the templates is it asks if the base folder starts with broadcast automation. If it does, then it checks and modifies the drive letter to make sure that it matches this guy right here. And the reason why it may not is that the template may have been created on a different machine or off of a different channel. So we want it to be automatically have everything change. Then the station name is modified to the current channel. C broadcast automation XXXX is changed to C automation DCCATV. So essentially it finds the drive and it finds the channel name and modifies any entry in the templates to match the current selection. So here's an example. Broadcast automation My Retro TV would be changed to C broadcast. Oops, I have an extra colon in there. That isn't cool. And I don't have one there, so I'll put that in there for now. And the C is still right, but my station is changed to DCCATV. So anywhere in the template, if it sees something that starts with broadcast automation, it automatically adjusts the file path to reference the station that you're on. Okay. Pesky cursor. Let me get this out of the way. The second one is streaming TV shows. This is where all your content goes. We have a number of series of different shows, and we have some libraries and things down here. So what does this look like? Well, if you click on it, you'll see the name relative. And the relative folder has a number of entries, including OK to stream. And OK to stream always has your MP4s or your MP3s or whatever you want. You can add folders to this, add data that you want, and as long as you duplicate it among any other series, works out just fine. So we have a slideshow. So Captain Midnight has slides. We have Commander Cody. He has slides. We have Highway Patrol, and he has slides. Bout might have a storyline. Well, it isn't saying much. A bio. This is about Richard Webb. And you can see that as long as you add the same information in all your things so they all look the same, the template will work really well. So, what happens? Well, let me demonstrate something for you. Okay, so we have the standard stream, and we have Captain Midnight. If we play it, okay. Now, if we come over here, Commander Cody, and we drop OK to stream into here, what'll happen is we play the episode. Here's Commander Cody. Now, think of the concept as this. Drag and drop a file. No. Drag and drop a show. When you drag and drop a show, it includes everything that you need for the show. Any graphics, any music, any bio, anything you want. And when you drop that OK to stream, Casttor is able to actually go back through the path, find out where a relative is, and then adjust everything in the templates for that. So, what does it do? Let's go down here. Okay, so the show drive is C.
Commando, are you expecting some equipment? No. Better check with
And
the
the
guards.
selected folder is Highway Patrol.
Guard. Hello, guard.
So we drag dropped Highway Patrol. Into here. Everything's changed. So what it did is the following. It takes the file from the template.
Now you better listen, Commando Cody.
These are any of these for the timeline editor or any of these for the overlay. And what it does is if the base folder starts with streaming TV shows, then the drive letter is modified to the current drive. In the template path, it searches backwards through the file root until it finds relative. It replaces in the template path everything between streaming TV shows and relative with that from the new path. So, for an example, the selected folder is Highway Patrol. So it's streaming TV shows, time slot equals Highway Patrol, relative. Now the old path in the template was X streaming TV shows, show, or something else, anything, relative, OK to stream. And another example is G, streaming shows, today, my retro TV station, TV, channel, western, relative. And you'll notice that this is long, this is short, but what it does is it figures out where the end of this is and the beginning of this is and replaces it with from the end here to the beginning here. So it replaces all that into all of that or all of that. So what happens is, depending on what show you dropped into the this template right here, this guy right here, so when you dropped it in, it dropped the whole show. Everything included music, slideshows, storylines, ads, about, etc., into the template, and it modified everything so that when you, let's say, did a slideshow, it had changed the name so that the correct slideshow would actually work in OBS. So that essentially lets you use one template for hundreds of different shows. The average user might not have a bunch, but for a retro TV station, let me show you. I'm sorry, stupid cursor is hard to find. So let's go up to my G drive. And we'll go down to streaming software. Oh, I'm sorry, not software, but streaming shows. And you'll see I have a heck of a lot of stuff. All sorts of shows, but basically they run off the same template or a few different ones that I use. Some of these shows are SD or standard definition, and I use a slightly different show for that, or a template. But basically, maybe I have a half dozen templates for hundreds of shows. So you don't have to have a list of things to do. You just drag and drop a show into a Casttor template, and it'll figure out all the paths. Now, it does more than that, but basically that's how you get one template to work with all sorts of data. So if I, let's say, come over here and I get play out, normally it just plays a bunch of trailers. But if I drag drop, let's see, Captain Midnight into this, and I play it, you'll notice that I have a playlist option here. So this is set up for a playlist instead of a linear TV. I played the episode, and it goes right to Captain Midnight. It skips the front and all the verbiage you saw and acts like a playout.
A war hero who has never stopped fighting
Now,
against his country's
the thing you got to
enemies.
remember
A
is
private citizen who
playout doesn't require much. All it requires is this guy right here. The name of the show, the logo. So it requires less data. So you can put in a folder that has more data. Bio, the name, text, slideshows, and as long as you have more data than you need in a template, it works just fine. If you have less data in a template, then it'll skip things and give you a little error message, but will let you play. So if I go back, and let's say I'll go back here to standard template, and you saw that it does a lot. Has verbiage, has slideshows and whatever. And then I actually try to drop the playlist into it, and I run it, the playlist doesn't have all the stuff that the Captain Midnight had. So what happens? So you don't see the slideshow, and it tries to do the best it can.
Comes the most infamous cult of all.
So the general rule is,
Bela Lugosi.
if you have in the streaming TV show subfolder that you're using for whatever show you have text, bio, storyline, things like that. And you have a template that uses that, then it works perfectly. If the template uses less, it works perfectly. If the template needs more, then you get missing things, and then you get little error messages like this, where it says, it didn't like it. But it still lets you play, and the idea is that you want it to keep playing even if it isn't quite right, because you don't want the show, your 24-hour broadcast, to stop at 2 a.m. with a little message that says, hey, something's missing. The idea is I will keep on running and doing as best I can, and if I miss something, that's better than stopping. Now, the third smart folder is down here under Stream Recordings, and you'll see that whenever you save anything, that you will get the recordings under Streaming Recordings and under the current station name. So playlist.
Here they come. Call.
And there's some runtime log stuff which sort of tells you what's going on, and it's telling you what steps it's doing, and the commands and things like that. One of the other things that you will see when you actually run a program, let me make this smaller, is a report. And the report tells you what steps that you're going to run, and the time. I set this program for 29.5 minutes, and what Casttor does is it makes it fit so that it expands and contracts, compresses, and is able to fill up the time and make it come out at whatever you want. So that is the story about these smart folders. At this point, we want to add a new show to our schedule. So what we're going to do is to come up here to your install, and we're going to come down here to templates, and we have templates for new station, and we have a template for data. So I'm going to copy simple show, Control C. I'm going to come down to streaming TV shows. I'm going to add that. I'm going to change this to racing, R-A-C-I-N-G. If we look at it, we have the not that many entries because it's simple. We have nothing in the OK to stream. We have nothing in the slideshow. So let's go get some data. So I'm just going to grab some files from Kodi and Control C. Then I'm going to put them in racing, and these would normally be racing car videos. Okay. Now we have new data. We have nothing in slideshow. So let's see what happens. I'm going to bring this back. We're going to take this and drop and drag the whole show into it. And you see it says racing now. And if I do new clip, you'll see that down here it changes. That's good. And what we're going to do is save this to a file, save it back to common, and we're just going to call it racing. R-A-C-I-N-G. So now if we come back and actually open, you'll see racing. That was an old trial. It's spelled wrong. So let's see what it does. Let's play it. Let's make it full length. We have the bumper. We have the name of the video. We have a station. And we have the video. But what happened to the slideshow? Well, we know that the slideshow wasn't there. So let's actually put some data there. We'll go up to here. Yeah, okay. Let's not do Commander Cody. We'll do Captain Midnight instead. We'll get some of his slideshow. So let's copy the whole thing, and we'll come down here to racing, and we're going to add that in. And now we have some slideshow stuff. And of course this would be racing cars. So if we run this again, what happens? Now, let me make this a little smaller. So if we run this again, since now this guy has a slideshow, you'll see we have Commander Cody, but we have Jet Jackson slides. So it shows that it indeed actually worked, and that missing data essentially doesn't show up. And if you put something that has missing data into a template that requires more, like the slideshow, it just doesn't work. And it is really set up so that it will tell you that there's an error, and then let me get an error thing for you. So here's what you might see in terms of errors that will tell you that like right here, I couldn't find the slideshow, that it was empty, so that you can actually sort of tell you have a problem. So what I'm telling you is that you create a data a data folder, a smart data folder for your program, whether it's racing, history, music, whatever. And then you are able to, using whatever template you want, that template will demand certain things. It wants a bio, it wants a slideshow. And you create the new streaming TV show folder, and you make sure that it has all that stuff that the template requires. So basically, you know ahead of time that if you want to have a slideshow, that you gotta create slides and put it in the folder slideshow. Pretty easy. Now, this concept is quite different from the typical either macro-generated programs or commercial ones where they have libraries and things. And you drag and drop a file into a list. In Casttor, you drag and drop a show into a template. And if the show has all the data that the template requires, you're good to go, and it will run that program in that format. A little FYI. The timeline I said actually specifies this guy here. At the top here, you define segments. And you can come here and you'll see it has a list and it matches this. Now you're going to say, oh, okay, what happens if I want something different or I want to name it different? Well, just go ahead and create it. And the only thing that you have to do to work with the timeline is that if you have view station black, then let me get this a little bit bigger. So this is view station intro. The source in this has to match the station intro and start with something else. So it replaces the view with something else. View main filler is VLC main filler. View trailer is VLC trailers, and a lot of times I will put the type of media as the first. So you just duplicate the scene, then create a source that matches the scene name and change from view to VLC or media or browser or whatever. Here's a browser, and it says browser because this is browser. View VLC capture. So this is view text scrolling, and it's text scrolling. So you just create a pair, and when Casttor starts, it will read these in and allow you to create your own stuff. Pretty cool. Now, at the bottom here, these are the segments that you're going to run. You're defining them, and you'll see that it has use and define. So the define thing means this is a definition. And down here, you'll see that you have use, but you don't have any define. So this is the order that you want to play things in. So we're going to we've defined S as run this bumper for, let me get this. Run this bumper for 16 seconds. Do a 2-second fade, 2-second out fade. You'll see that the second one's still S, and it has a 2-second in fade, 2-second out fade. So down here you'll see one S, and it means that you'll run both of these. Now, for example, it says mute me. So you have this bumper going and it's muted. So what's going on here? Well, if you come over here to the overlay editor, you'll see that that matches. Here's logo 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you'll see that this matches that. And you can add your overlays, anything you want, anywhere you want. So if we come down here to background music and click on it, you'll see that during the S segment, which you saw, it's going to start, this music is going to start at 0 and go for 25 seconds. This guy is the E segment, which is the end, and that's only good for as long as it runs. We go back here. Here's E. It's a end graphic, so it goes for 10 seconds. The music goes for 10 seconds. We're good to go. P is your program, and when you run this, it substitutes in this name with the full path and everything, and that becomes the P block. The F block is a fill, and what I mean by a fill is you give it a folder, and it's designed to fill in. You know, if your program wants to go to 30 minutes and your main program's only 20, this will fill in the rest of the 10 minutes. So it automatically goes into like this YouTube folder, and which is trailers, and it generates a whole bunch of trailers, and it makes the thing come out correct. This is the image, and you can see that it's going to run S, P, F, and E. So that's the order it's going to run. You have a couple options. You can shuffle things. And so you can mute, you can shuffle, you can fade, and you can loop. And I will explain this some other time. You can set it for stop start. So why wouldn't we set it for anything else? Now, right here, the main program is set for pause, unpause. So why would we do something like that? Normally we just have it stop start. So I could change it to stop start and it would work. But why would we do that? So let's go over and we'll get something a little bit different. Now this is from a local church, and it has a time slot called Christian TV. And if I run it, hopefully this will run fine.
My name is Kyle. You may remember me from 5 minutes ago being up here saying something. But it is exciting. Baptism Sunday is always one of those things that is incredible. Because
and it's what? Look at that. It's a commercial. It's an ad. How did we do that? This is pretty neat. Okay, let's look at the timeline editor. Now, you'll see the same S, P, F, E, and then 1. You'll see that the P has pause and unpause, and when you do commercials, you need to pause and unpause. Otherwise, it would restart after the commercial. So, what are we doing with 1? Okay, that's a relative, and it's called ads. And to remind you, if Casttor sees a folder, it means Casttor, you pick from this folder and pay attention to shuffle and loop, but you do it. So it will automatically pick something for you, which is what you want. you don't want to have a specific ad unless you really want a specific ad. So you don't see a 1 down here. So what's going on? So if we click on here, you'll see that what we're running is S, the start, the bumper. We're running the main program. And what's this? Overlay type. So, and it says 15 seconds. And it says offset from block start. Well, that means start to run the program. When you get to the 15-second mark, run 1. And since 1 is a folder, every time you run it, you'll get a different ad. Cool. And you see it says 15, 60 seconds, and then it says minus 60. And you see these check marks says offset ref to block start. Well, that means 15 seconds from the start of the program, 60 seconds from the start of the program, and minus 60 means 60 seconds from the end of the program. If you don't have these checks, if you have it like this, it'll mean commercial starts at 15, and then 60 seconds later, it will run a commercial. So check marks means from the start of the program, and uncheck means that amount of time from the last commercial. Now, if you start at 15 and you have a commercial that is 1 minute long, it's going to go longer than 60, and the 61 won't run because it can't. If you have a 60-minute commercial, then it would be 1 minute and 15 seconds, which is after this, so this would just not be run. So that's what this unpause, pause thing is, and this is how you insert commercials. And it's pretty cool. So you have a lot. I especially like this minus from the end because that was actually pretty hard to do. So what does this look like? I'll bring over the report, and you can sort of see what happens. So block P starts, and it's running this sermon, The Excellent Way. And then down at the 15-second mark, you see insert block, start time 15 seconds, and then it runs this commercial for 60 seconds. Then 59 plus 15 means that you come back to the regular program and continue it at the 74-minute mark, second mark. And then down here, you have another commercial, and it starts at right near the end, and then it finishes up with the remainder. So this commercial runs for 60 seconds, and then this end will finish up. Block F, it has a bunch of commercials at the end to just fill them up, and then it has the E block. So if we come along here and let's say we want this thing to not be 45 minutes, we want it to be 60. And program length is, let's say, 59 max, and this major program file gets cut off at 59, and let's see what it says. Let me bring it over here and create the prong. And Now you see that it's added more in the F block, more commercials to fill out everything and to make this thing come out right. And here's your 59 minutes. So Casttor is able to compress and expand and take care of different size videos. You just tell it how long you want it to go, and it will do the rest. You don't have to worry about having a 30-minute commercial and fitting it here and there. You just give it a bunch of commercials or trailers or music or whatever in the F folder, and it will fill it out for you. So what happens is if I go to today, it sets the time at midnight. I can change the time. I can say how many of these I want it to go at 8 o'clock. If I set this to 4, then if I come over here and add programs, it will create 4 of these 1-hour blocks at 8 o'clock. And it will go from 3:15 to wherever you want. So if I go ahead and do that, let me do that. You'll see down here it goes really fast. So you saw that was really quick. And let's bring up the organizer. And you'll see here is starting at 8 and going for a while is 9 o'clock is these hour-long things. And you'll see that goes circle, money talks, fully engaged, excellent way, goes to something else, and it rotates around, and that's determined by whether you want to loop or shuffle. You remember that I pointed out some of the file naming metadata, and this is how you control it. You can sort by episode, alpha, date, and uses that data in the file name. Also, you can run these things on different days, so that if you want Sunday stuff, it's run on Sunday. If you want weekend stuff, it's run on weekend. If you don't want weekend stuff, then it's during the week. So let's I'll undo that, and let's say that today is the 15th, so let's say I don't want it on Friday, and I run this again, and you'll notice that it's actually today is Saturday, Sunday, Monday, so it only ran it on Monday. So you can control how you do this. If you want to run a block, let's say you want to run this playout thing, which is just a bunch of trailers. We have a playout option, and if we add to it, this is about every 3 or 5 minutes, so it's adding a lot right now. And here is all those shows. Now, since these are half-hour blocks, you're not going to see everything in the half-hour block. You're just going to see what's one of the things that are in there. But if you go to when you actually go to the player, you will actually see each one. So let's get this out of the way. Let's get this out of the way. Get this report out of the way. Get the organizer out of the way. And if I don't want to stream, if I play that, next.
Today, the United States plan to claim a whole planet through the most extraordinary expedition of our time, a flight through...
If you want to run this time-wise, then you do run station, and it will do the intermission program for you. And then when it gets to the right time, you have 20 seconds, I'll let it go. So okay. Let's do this for fun. We'll go here, and this would be Captain Midnight. We're going to block size of 1440, which is all day. We're going to start today, and we're going to run it every day. And you'll see that it just overwrites the old stuff, and you'll see that that we're on 30-minute blocks right now. But let's have some fun. Let's turn it into a playout instead. And when we do that, add programs to the schedule. You will see that it's odd times now. And if I run it,
Captain Midnight!
you get a play out instead.
On a mountaintop high above a large city. Captain Midnight!
So, smart files, smart folders, there's two of them. One is the station, which has logos and station ID and things like that. And the streaming TV shows. And then you have this streaming recording, which shows you if you want to save things when you play. This lets you, essentially, you could see when I created the Captain Midnight, that I could actually run this out for a month. Now, the thing that you want to keep in mind is you're going to say to yourself, okay, I have a promo or a PSA for a dance this Saturday. I don't want to see it next month. Well, Casttor is set up so that when you play something, it actually will create the run script for your program about 30 seconds, 60 seconds before it actually runs. So if you delete an old ad from the ad folder, it won't see it, and you won't see it a month from now. And if you add something 2 weeks from now, it will see it when it's about run and maybe pick that as an ad, and you'll see something fresh. One of our users actually creates a slideshow with all the events and stuff, and puts that MP4 in a file, and Casttor will just read that at the time, and it'll be fresh. So everything is always fresh, and that's really important for keeping, you've seen the commercials where, please sign up and by, December, da-da-da-da, and it's in January. And you sort of laugh. But anyway, Casttor will take care of that. So you can see the importance of the smart folders. Without them, Casttor would not be able to use templates. And the idea, of course, is that the data is the same. Not the same original C root path, but it's the same after the relative folder. And that's what Casttor will look for, and that's what it considers, how to replace everything, which you just saw. So one template can run a lot of different programs, and a different template can still run those and make it look different. So that's it, and it's really an important foundational concept. I'll have videos that go into the editors and stuff, and more on the scheduler and how to do that in the player. But basically, the idea is you take one of the content templates, copy it to streaming TV shows, rename it, put your data into relative / whatever, especially OK to stream, and you get a matching run template, and drag that OK to stream from your new data folder to the template and save it with a different name. And then you have created a program. Obviously, if you don't rename them with the metadata style that Casttor uses, some of the things aren't going to work, like the title. Casttor does pay attention to title and song, and then anything else you put in it. So you can have album, you can have genre, you can have all sorts of things in the name to help it. And there's some other things that I'll discuss in another video that allow you to have more data. There's also timing things that you can put into the timeline. Time of day, time of week, and time of hour, so that when the user does a news broadcast and on Thursday they have something new, so they have a little thing in the schedule that says day of week is Friday and Thursday, and it'll run after 6 o'clock. So there's a lot of options, especially timing options, that will make this very powerful. So that's it for this video. Talked long enough. My voice is hoarse.